Yes, a federal judge looks like he's about to hit the stop work order button about the Golden Ballroom Donald Trump is building without taxpayer funds, without congressional oversight, and trying to figure out a way to get out from under federal judge oversight. I don't think it's working. But what really came out of the story is something that seems to have gotten missed in the media reports. He's rebuilding a secret bunker under the East Wing, now Ballroom. Yep, you heard me right. And he might be using a secret slush fund that he created in order to avoid judicial oversight. A bunker? Money laundering? And I just thought we were going to talk about the ballroom. I'm Michael Popok. You're on the Midas Touch Network and Legal AF. Big hearing in front of Judge Leon, a federal judge appointed by Bush, who pulled everybody together to consider a preliminary injunction to stop continued construction of the ballroom until Donald Trump gets congressional approval. The National Trust, on behalf of the American people and the People's House, brought the case. Now, about a month and a half ago, on a temporary restraining order, the judge says, no, I'm not going to stop the below ground construction. But the vertical construction, building the building, the 90,000 square foot monstrosity, now pushing $400 to $500 million, which is going to dwarf the 55,000 square foot White House next door that it's attached to. That's a different story. And he said, you better get the approvals. You better go through all of your different agencies and committees and commissions and get back to Congress. Well, the Trump administration doesn't want to do that. So they created what I'm going to call a secret slush fund that we now know about. See, the money was with the Park Service, which was under the jurisdiction of courts and ultimately of Congress. But Donald Trump had the money transferred from the Park Service to a secret fund in the White House you and I probably never heard of before, called the Executive Residence Office and Executive Residence Bank Account. Yes, Donald Trump opened up a bank account, funded it with our money out of the Park Service. It was originally from donors that went to the Park Service into the Executive Residence Office. You see the money laundering? And then he has what he thinks is complete control. Now, it got questioned in court by the judge and by the lawyers for the National Trust. Why is the Executive Residence staff handling being the general contractor for this major Washington, D.C. project at the People's House? How are they qualified to do that? And by the way, Donald Trump is not a builder. Donald Trump he erects things. He erects his name on top of buildings built by other people. He does a lot of licensing agreements. He rarely builds buildings. He renovates buildings. I think the last major building he built was like 25 years ago. Okay. Other people build the building. He's not the general contractor. And so when you're not the general contractor, you just put your name on things, you don't really know how to build a ballroom with a secured bunker underneath. Now that came up as well. As Judge Leon told the lawyer for the Department of Justice and stopped him in his tracks when he said, this is just like when Gerald Ford, the president in 1977, put in a pool, Your Honor. He's like, stop. He said you're comparing the Gerald Ford swimming pool or the Melania Trump tennis court to what you're doing in demolishing the East Wing and building a 90,000 square foot addition with a bunker underneath it. That